Hollywood. We call it the dream factory, a world where everything looks perfect. But what happens when that perfect image shatters? Behind the red carpets and the blinding smiles, there's a hidden world, a darker side where power is absolute and secrets are worth more than gold. For decades, the industry circled the wagons to protect its own. But some crimes are just too monstrous to be swept under the rug. These are the cases that didn't just expose secrets, they brought down kings and rewrote the rules for everyone. Some of the most dramatic stories in Hollywood don't happen on the silver screen. They happen in courtrooms after the cameras stop rolling. For almost 100 years, a powerful code of silence ruled the industry. Untouchable figures and major studios worked together to protect their perfect public image, no matter the cost. Scandals were buried, careers were destroyed in secret, and victims were silenced. But some truths are so horrifying they refuse to stay hidden. The crimes we're about to explore didn't just end in prison sentences. They sent shockwaves through the entire industry, shattering the very foundations of power in Hollywood. They exposed a rotten system of abuse that had been allowed to fester for years, forcing a reckoning that continues to this day. These are the stories that pulled back the curtain on Hollywood's darkest secrets. Way back in 1921, long before social media or 24/7 news cycles, one of Hollywood's very first bombshell scandals erupted, and we still feel its impact today. The man at the center of it was Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. He was on top of the world. He was a master of physical comedy, incredibly agile, and beloved for his gentle characters on screen. As one of the biggest stars of the silent era, he had just signed a massive $1 million a year contract with Paramount Pictures. But everything changed over one Labor Day weekend. Arbuckle was hosting a party in his suite at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco when a young actress, Virginia Rapp, became gravely ill. To this day, what exactly happened in that hotel room is a mystery, obscured by sensational headlines and conflicting stories from a party awash in illegal alcohol. But the aftermath was tragic and clear. A few days later, Virginia Rapp was dead from a ruptured bladder. Arbuckle was arrested and charged with her murder, though this was later reduced to manslaughter. The media, led by newspaper tycoon William Randolph Hearst, went into a frenzy, painting Arbuckle as a depraved monster. The same public that had adored him now turned on him. His movies were pulled from theaters, and his name became synonymous with Hollywood's sin. Arbuckle faced 3 grueling trials. The first 2 ended with hung juries, but at the third trial in 1922, the jury came back with a not guilty verdict in just a few minutes. They even issued an unprecedented formal apology, stating, "We feel that a great injustice has been done him. Roscoe Arbuckle is entirely innocent and free from all blame." But it was too late. The court of public opinion had already convicted him. The scandal had so completely ruined his reputation that the industry's new moral watchdog, Will Hayes, banned Arbuckle from ever appearing in a Hollywood film. He was effectively blacklisted. Studios were terrified of another scandal hurting their profits. Universal Studios reacted first, adding a brand new morality clause to its contracts. This gave studios the power to fire any star who failed to act with due regard to public conventions and morals, or brought public hatred upon themselves. Soon every studio had one, giving them unprecedented control over the private lives of their stars. The Arbuckle case was a harsh lesson. In Hollywood, perception is reality, and the system will always protect itself, even if it means sacrificing one of its own. Fast forward nearly a century, and a new name would come to define Hollywood scandal, but on a scale never seen before. For decades, Harvey Weinstein wasn't just a producer, he was a kingmaker. His name was synonymous with Oscar gold. To be in his orbit was to be at the very center of the universe. But beneath the awards and the glamour, a monstrous secret was being kept by an entire industry. Then, in October 2017, bombshell reports from the New York Times and the New Yorker blew it all wide open. detailing decades of sexual harassment and assault allegations against him. This wasn't just about one predator. The story exposed a deep-rooted culture of complicity, the agents, executives, and assistants who had enabled his behavior for years. Ultimately, more than 80 women came forward to accuse Weinstein of horrific abuse. The fallout was swift and seismic. He was fired from his own company, kicked out of the academy, and became a global pariah overnight. But his downfall was just the beginning. The Weinstein scandal lit the spark for a global movement. Using a phrase originally created by activist Tarana Burke back in 2006, the hashtag #MeToo exploded online. It became a rallying cry for survivors everywhere, exposing how widespread sexual harassment was, not just in Hollywood, but in every corner of society. Powerful men who seemed untouchable for years were suddenly facing a public reckoning. The #MeToo movement forced real change. Workplace policies were rewritten, and practices like holding auditions in hotel rooms were banned. The power dynamic in Hollywood had started to fundamentally shift. Weinstein's legal battle has been a roller coaster. In 2020, he was convicted in New York and sentenced to 23 years in prison. But in a shocking twist, that conviction was overturned in April 2024 by an appeals court. The court ruled that the judge had unfairly allowed testimony from women whose accusations weren't part of the specific charges. A retrial was ordered, and in June of 2025, a new jury returned a split verdict. Weinstein was convicted of a criminal sexual act in the first degree, acquitted on another charge, and a mistrial was declared on a third. But despite the chaos of the New York case, Weinstein isn't going anywhere. He is still serving a separate 16-year sentence from a 2022 rape conviction in Los Angeles. His legal fights may continue, but his legacy is sealed. His crimes exposed the rot at the heart of Hollywood and unleashed a movement that's still fighting for change. The reckoning didn't stop with Weinstein. The case of Danny Masterson, known for his role on the sitcom That 70s Show, proves the fight for accountability is far from over and can take decades. The allegations against Masterson first surfaced in the early 2000s, but it took nearly 20 years for him to face a jury. In 2023, Masterson was convicted of raping 2 women back in 2003, at the very height of his television fame. A central and highly controversial part of his trial was the role of the Church of Scientology. Masterson is a high-profile member, and so were his victims at the time of the assaults. The women testified that the church actively pressured them not to report the crimes to police, insisting the matter be handled internally. They said they were threatened with being excommunicated and labeled a suppressive person if they went to the authorities. This silencing tactic was a key reason justice was delayed for so long. After an initial trial in 2022 ended with a hung jury, a second jury found Masterson guilty on 2 of the 3 rape charges in May 2023. That September, a judge sentenced him to 30 years to life in prison. He won't be eligible for parole for over 25 years. His lawyers filed an appeal in late 2024, but Masterson has been denied bail while he waits and is expected to stay behind bars for decades. The Masterson case is a powerful reminder that the post-#MeToo era is still unfolding. It highlights the incredible courage of survivors who have to battle not just their abusers, but also the powerful institutions that protect them. From the Fatty Arbuckle scandal that gave studios an iron grip, to the Weinstein earthquake that shattered it, to ongoing cases like Masterson's, Hollywood's darkest secrets are finally being forced into the light, compelling an industry built on fantasy to face a very painful reality. The stories of Roscoe Arbuckle, Harvey Weinstein, and Danny Masterson are much more than just celebrity scandals. They are milestones in a long, painful battle for accountability in an industry that for too long chose profits over people. These cases have sparked crucial conversations and led to real change, from the creation of the morality clause to the global force of the #movement. But they also reveal a disturbing pattern of abuse that has existed since Hollywood's so-called golden age. The curtain has been pulled back for good. The industry can no longer pretend it doesn't see what's happening in the shadows. The era of the untouchable mogul and the all-powerful star is finally giving way to a new and long overdue demand for justice. But what do you think? Which of these cases do you believe had the biggest impact on Hollywood? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into the stories the industry tried to bury, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video.